Stanley and the Baltimore Ravens have officially agreed on a 3-year, $60 million extension, $44 million guaranteed. This just came down about 15 minutes ago. Was on a walk with my wife, with my dog, ran back to the car, drove back to the apartment as quickly as we could, getting a video for you guys right now. That's why you got to hit that subscribe button, okay? I busted my butt to get back here as quickly as I can because we got a lot of Ravens ball to talk. First reaction, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm a little bit surprised. Not because I didn't think it was a priority, but just because I didn't know if Baltimore would have the money to get the deal done. Eric DeCosta spoke to the media during the NFL Scouting Combine, and he flat out said he's very optimistic about a deal getting done. However, the longer last week went on, the longer and closer it got to Monday, I think the more skeptical I was feeling about this deal actually, getting etched in stone, the name to the dotted line, you might say. I thought that recently Kansas City emerged itself as a very serious contender. There was rumors of them being willing to throw around somewhere around $23 to $25 million a year. And I thought, Ronnie just might not be able to say no to that. It's probably $5 million more than Baltimore was able to give. It's obviously $5 million more than Baltimore was willing to give. But at the end of the day, the deal is done. Ronnie Stanley will be a Baltimore Raven for the next 2 to 3 years. I'm extremely excited about it. He had his best season yet since that 2019 All-Pro season. He was healthy for the first time in a very long time. That's been his biggest knock, is his lack of availability. Well, he gave you a full season. Sure, did he have a good amount of holding calls? Yeah, he did. Not as many as Patrick McCarry, but nobody had as many as Patrick McCarry did, and yet still he put together a really good year. I think that there's something very important. If you have a franchise quarterback, make sure that that left tackle and him, A, work well together, B, make sure that left tackle is good at his job. And I think that's kind of what it came down to. I think Baltimore looked at this tackle free agency class and they said, you know what? We've got the best one already. We're not going to get any better than Ronnie Stanley. I think they looked at the draft and they said, you know what? We're not going to get anybody at pick number 27 in the draft better than Ronnie Stanley. This team is competing for Super Bowls. Okay, I know they came up just short this last year, right? And that game against the Bills game hurt me as much as it hurt anybody. But still, with the quarterback that you have, with the running back that you have, with the coach that you have, you're going to be competing for Super Bowls every single year. And having a left tackle that not only you can trust, but you can believe is one of the best in the National Football League is something very important. If you're competing for Super Bowls, you don't let your left tackle walk. Plain and simple. Okay? Sure, are there other needs that this team needs to address? Yes, of course. Edge rusher needs to be addressed. Cornerback needs to be addressed. Probably interior offensive line needs to be addressed as well. I would love for them to address the wide receiver position, right? There's a lot of things that still need to be figured out over the next couple of weeks of free agency, next month of free agency, and then going into the 2025 NFL draft. But you got the most important thing done, okay? When I made my perfect offseason video 3 days after the 2024 NFL season ended, okay? This is late January. I think my number one thing, and if it wasn't my number one, it was my number two, was to sign Ronnie Stanley. If you're competing for Super Bowls, if you have a franchise quarterback, you don't let a left tackle walk. Okay? Look at this past Super Bowl. Look at the Chiefs-Eagles game. 0 blitzes. And they still pressured Patrick Mahomes like 40-something times. Got like 5, maybe even 6 sacks. You think the Chiefs wish they had a guy like Ronnie Stanley? They do, because they were trying to pay him, trying to sign him, right? You have something that a team that has competed for Super Bowls at the highest level than anybody else in the NFL, they want what you have. That shows you that what you have is valuable. Okay, it's valuable. Ronnie is valuable. I will say, give a little bit of a disclaimer, because you signed Ronnie Stanley, because you're paying him around $20 million a year, right? Let me pull out the Twitter and make sure that, that number is right on and that the $44 million guaranteed is right what I'm saying, because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys all the right information. But because you're paying a guy that much, okay, and because you're, I don't want to say hamstringing yourself that much, but I'll tell you this, you are not going to probably make a good amount of moves over this next little bit. Don't expect the Baltimore Ravens, when free agency starts on Monday, to be some crazy big spenders. Okay? They're usually not in general, but I would say definitely don't expect it now. I think that they made their big move. This is, in my opinion, their big move in free agency, is locking down Ronnie Stanley. Now, the rest of it, if you trade Mark Andrews, if you let go of, if you release Mark Andrews, save $11 million, if you do all these other things, you have money to spend, then sure, I'd expect them to do something, right? But if you don't do any of those things, and you just look at the money situation of right now, and you just look at what you did with that Ronnie Stanley contract, I think it'd be silly for us to expect them, you know what, this team needs a corner, go get DJ Reed. You know what, this team needs an edge rusher, go get Khalil Mack. Go trade for Trey Hendrickson. Would love that to happen, right? Would think that'd be great. But with this contract and the way the money sits right now for Baltimore, don't expect that to happen. After today, I expect it to be a very, very slow week of NFL free agency. Maybe a couple more re-signings. Maybe a smaller free agent. Maybe you could get an older edge rusher on a 1-year, $8 million deal. Would not expect anything big. Would not expect anything of a Khalil Mack type. Would not expect anything of a Chris Godwin type. Would not expect anything of a Dre Greenlaw type, right? Any of those big names that is going to go and get some decent-sized money on the free agency market, do not expect that. But I think that's a good thing because you're happy about what you just did. I'm happy about what they just did. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What's your one-word reaction? Grade the sign. Do all the things. Just use the comment section as just as an open vent kind of session, okay? Tell me what you want. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel. Would love to know. Thanks so much for watching, every single one of you guys. Really do appreciate it. Try to get this out as quickly as I could. Try to be here as quick as I can. That's why you guys got to hit that sub button, okay? It's free for you guys. You guys get the quickest, fastest, best Ravens information right here on this channel. So join me and the 28,000 other people that are rocking right here on the Ravens Rundown.